What is up, boys? Welcome to another video. I'm very excited about this video because it is a topic that I just can relate to a lot, and I know some of you guys that clicked on this video can definitely relate to it, or maybe you're going through it right now, right? But I just want to start with a Bible verse to start this video. And obviously you see the title, you saw the thumbnail, you know what it's about, right? Why does God remove things from our life, right? Why does God remove things, right? Because it's not meant for you, right? It's simple as that. But I'm sure some of you may have heard this verse, but we're in Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you. This is the Lord's declaration. Plans for your well-being, not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope." Right? God's plans are never to destroy us or never to deter us away from Him, right? But some of us allow that to happen because we are so, just because something doesn't go your way, they think God hates them. But really, God sees things that you can't see, right? God is protecting you from something that is, that you can't deal with, right? Or maybe that would cause you down a bigger path of suffering, and God doesn't want that for you. So I want to lead that to a story that just happened to me. And me personally, I don't like to talk about things like this because I'm not trying to be petty, but this just happened literally a couple days ago. But I'm going to give you a nice backstory so that you guys can understand it, because I know some of you guys would definitely feel the same way that I do. But I'm going to show you how I handled it and how you can handle, and just to give you a life lesson, I guess, about whatever's happened to me. But basically, guys, I've been talking to this girl for about a month, about 4.5 weeks, and yeah, end of October pretty much we started talking. And she goes to a different school as me, and over text, over the phone, and even during the dates, we went on 2 dates. They went amazing, right? But she was so interested, I swear, over text, on the phone, during the dates. She was so interesting. She was she low-key manipulated me and pretty much played the hell out of me. If you really think about it, I'll explain how. But I asked her during the talking stage, "Are you talking to anyone else?" She said, "No, you're the only man I'm talking to, and I want to keep it that way," right? And we even talked about the future a little bit, what we're gonna do over winter break, cook or bake, whatever, things like that, watch a movie, and she was even a woman of God. She had a faith, right? She was strong about it. And what's crazy about that is just even those type of women, you need to be careful, right? You have to, as a man, you need to just watch out, because you never know what can happen, right? The enemy prowls around, and some women can be disguised as the enemy sometimes, right? And not saying she is, but yeah, she pretty much a couple days ago, just to end this story, she ended things with me. She said, she didn't even apologize either. She sends me a text. I get out of the movie theater with my family, and I look at my phone when I get home, and I'm just fuming. I'm angry, right? Because it says, "I am talking to someone else. I really appreciate you and respect you. I want to let you know that." She didn't apologize or anything, and I didn't even respond to that, right? I just let it be, right? There's no point in responding to that, because if she wants to throw everything away just like that and not even care about it and not even apologize for that, means that she has no respect for me at all. Even though she definitely did during the talking stage, I guess, but I guess not. She meets a new man that is, I know the guy too. He's one of my friends, but no hate towards him, or nothing towards him, because it was not his fault at all, right? He did not know we were talking, but she crossed that boundary and was looking for another man while talking to me, while being loyal to me, while leading me on to thinking that, oh, we could possibly be dating in the future, right? And that right there is just how she manipulated me, leading me on like that, getting my hopes up, all for it to just get shot down and get thrown out the window. Just crazy, right? My boy, I swiped up on his story because, I saw something that I knew that was her. I saw their cars together, and I was like, okay, she's talking to my best friend now, one of my friends, right? So I just told them about my situation and like, yo, be careful. But best of luck to them. If it works out, it works out. Like, it is what it is, you know. Let him be, right? Can't control that. But yes, I was angry for about a day and a half. I was really mad. But I was thinking to myself, like, it is really, like, if they want to leave, they want to do that, let them be. Let them do that. Like, let that woman do that, right? And I even prayed the prayer, like, if God, if she's not for me, if she's not meant to be my life, remove her from my life, because I don't want to waste my time. And he did that 2 days later. That is the crazy part. He did that 2 days later, right? God is so quick to answer that prayer because he wants to protect you from wasted times. He wants you to lead you to, you know, focus on your purpose, to focus on your path, to focus on your future, so that you can be the man, to build you up as a man, so that you are ready for the woman that he's going to send you, right? Or maybe your job, like, you get rejected from a job, you get fired from a job, or, you know, you get led somewhere else, and you're like, what the heck? Like, why would you do this to me, God? Because God has a better plan for you. God wants you to, you know, work on yourself, work on your business, or, you know, maybe find a different job that is meant for you, that is going to make you more fulfilled, right? And God protects you from those things because he doesn't want you to suffer anymore. He wants you to feel loved. He wants you to feel good, right? And it may suck in the moment, right? When that happened to me, I was so angry. It sucked in the moment. But right now, yesterday, right, I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling driven. I'm feeling passionate, right? That is why I'm making this video for you guys, because to show you that even when things don't go your way, things are going to go your way in the future, because God wants that for you. God is leading you to these good things, right? You have to look at the bright side, right? Her true colors were shown right away when she sent that text. I'm like, okay, you want to do that? All right, cool. I'm gonna just be me. I'm gonna focus on me and do what God wants me to do. And here we are, right? But even in that moment, right, when things aren't going your way, when doubt is so loud in your mind, what are you gonna do in that moment? You need to be the man that God is calling you to be, to just, you know, be calm and be peaceful about it, so that you can focus your thoughts to not be fixated on the situation, but be fixated on what God has protected you from, right? And fixate yourself on what God is trying to teach you, right? That your timing for that woman, or your timing for that job, or whatever it may be, it's not the time, right? It is not the time for that. That is why God is letting you wait, right? I'm not ready for the woman of God that God wants for me yet. So that is why he did that, right? He has a much better woman for me, right? He has a much better job for you. He has a much better situation for you, an outcome for you. He has better things in mind that you don't even know about, right? You don't even know what God has in store for you. But you need to have faith, and you need to be so confident in his plans for you that it's going to work out. That it's all going to be amazing. You're going to be so happy in the end of it. You're going to be so fulfilled in the end of it when God shows that and reveals what he has in store for you, right? But you need to remember that you need to set your eyes on the things above, right? The lust, the woman, the hookups, the alcohol, the drugs, the smoking, whatever the hell it may be, it is not meant for you, and you need to run the other way from all of those things and focus on the path that God wants you to be on, right? That whatever you're passionate about, whether it's coaching, running a business, playing video games, or whatever, right? You need to just focus on those things, man. Everything else in the world is a distraction. That is what the devil wants you to, right? That is why it's so normalized. That is why it looks so pretty and beautiful and so fun, because it is so easy to fall into, because it brings you down a rabbit hole of sin. It brings you down a rabbit hole of pain and suffering that many people in my age around me are just suffering, going to the parties, doing all these meaningless shit that deters them away from God and their purpose. And you watching this video, right? You have the opportunity to realize that, and to step outside the shell, step outside the box, and be different, move different, right? Cut people off if you have to, right? Or stop spending as much time with those people that are, you know, just draining you, draining your thoughts, draining your energy, right? You don't want to do that. You want to put your time and energy towards something greater, right? Because we're all meant for more, and you need to realize that, right? But to get back to the point, right? God removes what is not meant for you because, you know, you may think certain things are meant for you, but in reality, they're not, right? Just because it feels good, just because you're happy in the moment, you really need to reflect, and you need to be careful with your thoughts. Like, is this really meant for me, right? Is this person going to build me up with God? Are we going to get closer to God together? Are we going to, you know, focus on our paths, right? You need to think of these things, right? I want to read one more verse, you know, because it kind of matches what I was saying. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals, right? If you're around the wrong company and you have these good morals, you know what you're doing is wrong, that bad company is ruining it, right? That friend group that you're in ruins everything, right? It's gonna lead you down that rabbit hole, right? A tree falls away, leans, and you need to realize that, right? The people that you're surrounding yourself with, you have to realize that if they're gonna drain you, if they're going to, you know, drain energy, drain yourself, drain your soul, why you want to spend time with them? It makes no sense, right? Even if you have to be alone, right? I love being alone because I know, like, and I have friends that are great, right? That are on the same path as me, that are doing good, that are even doing better than me, right? But I still like to be in my own space because I know how I move. I know that I'm more collective with my thoughts, with my content, everything I'm doing. It's just like, it flows so much easier for me, right? And if you have bad people around you, or people that are leading you down the wrong path, man, you need to cut them out. You have to. Don't care what they say, right? People are gonna hate you. People are gonna call you things that you don't want to be called, but like, you have to just be different. You gotta move different if you want different, right? That is just how life has to be, right? That is how God wants us to be, right? We need to be on the narrow path. Don't enter the wide gate, enter the narrow gate that leads to life, that leads to peace and prosperity and love, right? That wide gate leads to destruction, right? It says somewhere in Matthew, I know that was an amazing verse that I came across like a couple months ago. But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you can just take something from it, because I really enjoyed just, you know, speaking the word a little bit and then speaking a story to you guys that you can relate to. But I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.